have figured out we're not home yet. We're only halfway there.
Now, when you think of space horror, there's only really one series of movies which really comes to mind, and that is the incredible Alien series, starting from Alien, directed by Ridley Scott, through Aliens, directed by James Cameron, then through all those other ones which we don't like to talk about too much, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, the Alien vs. Predator movies. But say what you will about its subsequent sequels, you can't deny that the Alien series is incredibly powerful in the realms of both horror and science fiction, and is by far the most successful fusion of the two, I think.
Absolutely. Wonderful design, wonderful creature design, wonderful space ship design, the technology, that sort of future tech, that lo-fi sci-fi as they call it, and a terrifying horror genre in space.
Take a look at horror science fiction. You can take that back to the 50s with your B science fiction movies of alien invaders and all that sort of thing. But Alien, to my knowledge, really was the first one which successfully blended all the wonderful tropes of the horror film with a science fiction setting. And as Ridley Scott says, it's a haunted house story set in space.
In space, yeah. I loved the technology. I loved the limitations of that technology. It felt like it was still hard to travel through space, to land on planets. Things still broke. It still had to wear the heavy gear and traipse around outside, and that added to the claustrophobia of that that movie, and how it was hard and limiting to all the characters involved.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the effect that Ridley Scott's involvement had in the development of that film, and it's become an entire genre of its own thanks to his involvement. Without him, Alien would not have been an A-list release. It would have been a schlocky, forgettable thing.
Yeah. I mean, he was intricate in the design of it as much as that beautiful direction. His cinematography, superb as everyone knows, but he's a great artist himself. He draws a lot. Yeah, he really had his hands into that movie.
And he was very definite in terms of having H.R. Giger being involved in having that design for the creature in the first place. And as much as you can say his approach was don't show the creature, let everybody's imagination do the hard work on that, the bits we did see were pure Giger, and wow, what an indelible movie monster he created.
Straight out of your nightmares, isn't it? Really.
So another really interesting thing about the Alien series was that, yes, the first movie was a mega hit, but then you had a sequel which, under James Cameron's control, was both a sequel but also an entirely different sort of film.
And yet it works, doesn't it? It is a completely different film, but it works in its own right. Yeah, the characters are more gung-ho, but they get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
And again, the technology and the limitations of that technology, it's all there. James Cameron picked up on those things and worked it into that film, and it's still got all the great character arcs. Ripley is strengthened even more in Aliens, more than she was in the first one.
I hope you're right. I really do.
So James Cameron certainly added new things to the alien mythology, such as the Alien Queen. But these additions, I don't think anybody has ever complained saying, "Oh no, we don't like the Alien Queen as a concept" or anything like that.
No, I have to say, to me, it seems absolutely. It fits perfectly.
Yeah,
it makes sense. He's given it a biology. I think it totally works to have a queen bee that runs the whole show,
and made a fantastic adversary for Ripley the amazing fight sequence at the end.
A fantastic mixture of actual miniature work with a huge puppet built by Stan Winston and his team. They did an outstanding job. This is pre-CGI days by a long shot. And when you see that film and the way it's cut together with the live action and miniature work all together, he knew what he wanted, and he absolutely achieved it.
Aliens. This time, it's war.
So we've talked about Alien and Aliens. What about the other movies? Now, we all know that Alien 3 had a very troubled production scheme. Alien Resurrection was pretty much a misfire on most levels. And the Alien vs Predator movies, not hugely well received, though they didn't make enough money to warrant making Aliens vs Predator Requiem.
I guess out of all of those, Alien 3 is probably the best out of those ones. It's still reasonably watchable. You know, yes, they went off on that tangent, and that's the way they went, and that was it. And David Fincher had a hell of a time making that movie, but it is what it is, and I would still watch that from time to time. Alien Resurrection, I probably liked it more at the time when I first saw that, and then over the years went on to just really not really liking that at all. I haven't even seen AVP 1 or 2, and I don't really intend to. I know,
You're not missing
I know that they're rubbish. And Prometheus, it looks nice.
So that's our thoughts on Alien and the Alien Saga. What do you think? Leave your comments below, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time on Film Crew for another exciting talk about films.